Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something that I think a lot of people uh, kind of struggle with.
Okay.
And that's what really I as good design.
Right.
I mean, we all know it when we see it. It looks good. It functions well.
Mhm.
But this text we're looking at today, um, it really digs into that, you know, beyond just aesthetics. And I got to admit, it made me think about design in a whole new way.
Interesting.
So I'm really curious to get your take on this. Have you ever stopped to think about the problems that good design is actually trying to solve?
It's funny you should mention that because that's exactly what this source kind of dives right into.
Oh, cool.
And it starts with a very basic example that I think we can all relate to.
Okay.
A business card.
Oh, okay.
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, totally. You just pick some nice fonts and colors, maybe a cool paper stock.
Right. That's what I would have thought too. Just make it look pretty, make it stand out. But the source is saying that we're kind of putting the cart before the horse with that approach.
Okay, so what's the horse then? What are we missing?
Well, they use this really interesting anecdote about a lawyer.
Okay.
This lawyer specializes in, get this, visas for rabbinical students.
Wow, very specific.
I know, right? So at first glance, the problem seems to be updating his business card. Just making it look a little more modern and sleek.
Yeah, a little refresh.
Exactly. But the designer in the story, they start asking these really smart questions like, who are your competitors? Who's your ideal client? Who are you really trying to reach with this card?
Makes sense. Due diligence.
And through that process, they uncover a much deeper need that the lawyer hadn't even considered.
Oh, okay, now I'm intrigued. What was the need?
So it turns out a lot of the lawyer's competitors were using bilingual business cards.
Oh, interesting.
Catering to both Hebrew and English speakers, which makes sense given his specialization, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But his current card, guess what? Only in Hebrew.
Oh, wow.
So he was potentially missing out on a huge portion of his potential clients because his business card wasn't actually speaking to them.
So the design problem wasn't the design itself. It was a lack of strategic thinking about the client's goals.
Bingo. And that's what I think is so mind-blowing about this whole idea.
Yeah, it's not just about making things look pretty. There's this whole deeper layer of problem solving.
Right. And it made me think about all sorts of designs that we interact with every day. Take a website you love using. Why do you love it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Chances are it's because it's solving problems for you, even problems you didn't even realize you had. Maybe the navigation is super smooth and intuitive, or the information is laid out in a way that just makes sense. All of that is design, solving those little tiny problems to create a seamless user experience.
Good design is almost invisible.
Right.
Because it just works.
Exactly.
But, there's another point the source makes that I thought was really interesting. It's about how client objections can actually be opportunities for good design.
Oh, yeah. They had a great example about that, too. Remember the one with the client who hated the colors on their business card?
Right, the colors.
And they said, a less experienced designer might just, scramble to find some different color palettes and try to appease the client. But a really skilled designer will see those objections as a clue, a way to dig a little deeper and figure out what's really going on.
Yeah, instead of just changing the colors, ask why the client doesn't like them.
Exactly. What feeling are they trying to evoke? What message do they want to communicate?
It's almost like being a design therapist.
Exactly. It's all about understanding the client's needs, even the ones that they might not be able to articulate very clearly, and then using that understanding to craft a design solution that is, really effective.
So what we're really talking about here is that design at its core is problem solving. But those problems can be so much more than just aesthetic issues.
Absolutely. And I think that's a powerful shift in perspective, isn't it? Because it makes you realize that every design choice you see, big or small, from the placement of a button on a website to the shape of a doorknob,
Oh, yeah.
is a response to a specific problem.
That is something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Knowing this, does it change the way you look at the designs you interact with every day?
Yeah.
I know for me, I'm seeing things in a whole new light.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm paying attention to the layout of my favorite coffee shop, the wayfinding signs in the airport, even the apps on my phone.
Makes sense.
And I'm thinking about what problems they're trying to solve. Are they doing it effectively? Could it be done better?
It's a fascinating exercise, isn't it? I encourage everyone to try it. Really opens your eyes to the thought that goes into the designs we use every single day.
We would love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you noticed any really clever design solutions or maybe some not so great ones in your daily life? Hit us up on social media and let us know what you find. And be sure to stick around because we have more deep dives coming your way, exploring all sorts of fascinating topics. See you next time.